I was giving Richard some time to eat his food. I don't expect you to wolf down your expensive chicken sandwich dinner on my behalf.
Oh, no, I thought it was $70, just like Applebee's.
What?
Wait, really? $70 for 2 chicken sandwiches?
Well, I tipped 35, but that's...
Okay.
Man, they're like, who's this lovely American? He breaks the stereotypical mold of them all being complete dickheads.
Right.
It's a nice tip.
It's a very nice tip, Richard.
Okay, it wasn't 35, but it was close.
I mean, it's Canadian money, so it's all make-believe anyways.
This money is fucked.
Richard, man, what nerve did I touch? I didn't create Canadian money, Richard. I just want to let you know.
This is some bullshit. You can see through the money.
That seems cool.
Oh my! Is that like a clear little panel?
Look! They got the people in outer space. This is on their money.
Wait, Richard.
This money looks awesome.
Richard, do they have women on their money?
Oh no, it's not that crazy.
Oh, right. They would never do that.
Wait, how do you know what gender the astronaut is?
Well, that's a good question.
Alan.
On the one side, they got the historical dude. And then on the other side, they have and then this one's going to be about space travel.
And they were going to have just John Candy on the other side. The famous guy and then the actor on the other side.
Is Bob Clark on one of those?
The B-20 has Schitt's Creek.
Oh, weird. Does it have Deadpool on one side?
The money is like covered in plastic. So it doesn't fold. You can't fold it. It just bounces back up. It slides off each other. So it's very easy to pull out a wad of cash and it just falls all over the ground and you can't pick it up. It's crazy.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're in Toronto right now and you're looking for an easy person to rob, Richard will throw his money at you. You need what now? It's like a magic trick with your fucking confetti throwing it in the
air. How much? I'm trying to get the thing on. Oh, guy! Hey, lady!
That's pretty good. God, if only they could have brought that energy to Lethal Weapon, which rips this movie off so hard, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, it's its own subgenre.
This movie that we're going to be talking about on this episode of the Kulturecast, featuring my good friends, Pulp-Serenade's Cullen Gallagher.
Howdy.
And everybody, I think mine, probably Cullen's, favorite screenwriter, executive producer, man about town, Richard Hatem.
And that town right now is Toronto, not Toronto, Toronto. That's how they say it.
If you say that second T, you're a real American.
Really?
But I avoid even the first T. The first T is a CH. Toronto.
Toronto, yeah. So to say it correctly, it's Toronto. Or even, like Richard said, you could even go further and turn the first T into a CH.
Yeah,
Toronto.
Yeah.
I'm way far south of Letterkenny. So no one talks like Letterkenny, which is sad to me, but maybe one day if I go up country, I can meet the
Why aren't you more backwoods Canadian?
They're very metropolitan down here. I don't feel like it's.
Yeah, they eat their poutine in cups as opposed to in their bare hands off the ground.
Yeah,
what is this?
I don't know. I'm going to go up country one of these days.
But so on this episode of the Kulturecast, we're talking about a movie that Lethal Weapon ripped off called 48 Hours.
We ain't partners. We ain't brothers and we ain't friends. I'm putting you down and keeping you down until Gans is locked up or dead. And if Gans gets away, you're going to be sorry you ever met me.
I'm already sorry.
Nick Nolte is a cop. Eddie Murphy is a con.
I can help you get Gans, but you got to get me out of here first.
You're crazy.
He pulls some strings.
I see how you need me a little more than you thought, huh, Mr. K?
He pulls some scams.
So where do you want to do it, honey? Want to hop up on the counter?
Nah, we can go in this room over here next to the bathroom.
Give me a break.
I'm dead serious.
Come on, we're on the move. Let's go.
They've got 2 killers to track down.
Toss me that piece, and he won't waste him.
They've got a kidnapping going down.
I want the money. I don't know what you're talking about. I want that Indian to snap her neck.
They've got a fortune to hunt down.
I want to know what's going on between you and Gans.
$500,000.
And it's all coming down in 48 hours.
But I gave you 48 hours to come up with something, and the clock's running.
This guy got a real itchy trigger finger and he's a nervous cop. You better listen to him. You get your brain blown out.
I'm the calm type.
I know that everybody, when they hear the music, they'll be doing it on the floor.
I'm looking for a good old boy by the name of Billy Bear.
Never heard of him.
You heard of him now, man?
Jump up and down and turn around and tell the band to play some more.
You know, you are real stupid for a cop, man. You're following this guy too close.
Yeah, well, most cops are pretty stupid, but since you landed in jail, what the hell does that make you?
For the night, you can dance and romance and do anything you feel like doing.
What's happening, Luther? I'm sorry about the door, man. Did that hurt? It looked real painful.
You come clean and we're going again right here, right now.
So don't look surprised, cause you know what I like. And tonight we ought to do it.
Are you in some hurry or something?
Yes, I'm in a hurry. I haven't done anything for 3 years.
Oh, you used to be a priest or something.
This ain't my night.
Boys are back in town.
If you screw up, I can promise you're going down.
They couldn't like each other less. They couldn't need each other more.
You want to bet?
And if they can get off each otother's case,
Look at you, you got a $500 suit on, you're still a lowlife.
Yeah, but I look good.
they just might solve this one.
Being a cop is a hard job, Jack.
Nick Nolte, Eddie Murphy.
We ain't brothers, we ain't partners, and we ain't friends. Now, if Gans gets away with my money, you're gonna be sorry you ever met me.
I'm already sorry.
48 hours.
Y'all be cool.
I'm just going to come out and say it. I like this movie a lot. So much so that, like, why did Lethal Weapon exist?
Well, because you liked this movie so much. That's why it existed.
But Lethal Weapon is like such a poor facsimile of this movie.
But I mean, look, we could argue all day the differences, but the enduring appeal of the buddy cop movie, and there's, you could go backward, and Cullen will probably help us, and then you go forward. There are high points and low points. I would say the Lethal Weapon movies are another high point, but it was only a couple years later, wasn't it?
Yeah. And Freebie and the Bean is technically the first buddy cop movie, which we did do an episode on, which is Alan Arkin and James Caan as the buddy cops. If that's a thing you're into, if that's a thing that sounds interesting to you, it's okay.
But there's also Walter Hill's, the movie he scripted for Robert Culp and Bill Cosby, Hickey and Boggs, which is like the buddy private eye movie, which is very much a precursor to this.
Yeah.
And that, of course, comes from Robert Culp, and Bill Cosby to I Spy.
Right.
I think you could even go back to like the Defiant ones where Sidney Poitier and Tony Curtis were the convicts who were handcuffed to each other and were, escaped and on the run.
Well, it fulfills a fantasy that I think was a part of second half of the 20th century. Which is trying to reconcile what a male relationship between a white man and a black man could be at its height, but also sort of removed from a overtly political context and placed in more of a genre context. So you could re-examine all those tropes, but with this new twist that would then make us, and by us, I'm looking at two other white guys and I'm white, would make us feel like, yeah, man, we can be cool. We can be cool. We can be in a cool friendship, partnership sort of thing. I mean, yeah, there might be some back and forth, but that's more of a guy thing than a black-white thing, right?
Well, just not getting along with one another, right? I mean, that's it's interesting because, I think to your point, Richard, there is this kind of idea in this movie that by taking away every other context you've seen this relationship in, it feels fresh and different. To put it in this police buddy cop context of convict and police officer working together, bridging the gap, crossing the lines together. It makes it feel so fucking like genuinely interesting. It feels so genuine as a movie, even when they're saying the N-word as many times as Nick Nolte does in this movie. It's just a lot.
Right. I mean, I don't want to imply that there is no racial element. There is, I mean, it is enormously acknowledged every 30 seconds.
It's there throughout.
But it's in that weird way that again, I almost, if you've read the Spencer novels, it's this sort of like, you're black, I'm white, but I'm going to talk trash to you and you're going to talk trash to me because we meet on the ground of we're both men in this sort of crime world, and we're both streetwise and crime-wise in different ways, but we're finding equality there. We're not in a weird way, we're not even starting on different levels. I mean, yeah, Eddie Murphy's in prison, but Nick Nolte is barely above him socially.
Right.
He's a complete scumbag, out and out.
He's not. Right. But the funny thing is, they don't push his character to Freebie and the Bean level, because in Freebie and the Bean, it's like they're like Freebie is way more corrupt. In this movie, like Nick Nolte is. I don't even say he was corrupt. He's just an asshole.
But he forges the documents to get Eddie Murphy out, and the guy in prison like isn't surprised by this. It's just like, all right.
And he does say it's like it's my ass though. Like he still does say like it's still my ass, but he does lie about the name on the paperwork. So,
well, and we'll talk about it more. Sort of again, the sort of cinematic notion of a cop within a police department, but operating on their own, by their own rules, going rogue on this one. Even and well, racial politics get even more complicated with his boss, Frank McRae, because Nolte's boss is a black man.
Right.
So there's a lot to sort of unpack and diagram in all these relationships, but the narrative, the fictional narrative, it bypasses all of that, because the cops, one of the cops, Jonathan Banks, is killed with Nolte's gun.
Right.
That excuses everything. That becomes the prime mover for the narrative. I was there. Those assholes killed cops in a way that implicates me. I was made to give up my gun, my phallic symbol, and it was used against this other cop. And now he's got my gun. It's almost like I'm going to get my gun back.
Very Miami Blues.
It's also very Stray Dog. I'm sure Walter Hill was influenced by that Kurosawa movie. Yeah. Have you all seen that one?
Mm-mm.
Heard of it.
Oh, it's great. I mean, it's about a cop whose gun is stolen. The criminal starts using that to kill people, and he's just destroyed by this notion that like my failure to hold on to this weapon is now harming other people. Like, I have to get this back.
I got to get my penis back.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
The lack of
Stray Dog is
emasculation.
Yeah. I mean, he's already Nick Nolte is already emasculated in the movie. Now, he's dating Annette O'Toole, which is amazing. And she's got the hottest porn adjacent name of any actress.
At least she's not screaming about a clown in this movie, which means her acting is good. I don't know if you've ever seen it, Richard, but her line delivery of "Why is it so mean?" is a meme from that movie forever.
For me, it's just 48 hours, cat people. That's all I need.
Okay, fair. She's great in this. She tells Nick Nolte to go fuck himself, which I appreciate.
Oh, that scene is amazing. So amazing.
She has got almost nothing to do in this movie. Does it great.
Yeah.
But she's there to sort of also emasculate Nick Nolte. It's like, yes, he's getting laid, but he can't make the relationship work. So we get that out of the way, and now the real love story can begin.
Right. And you know what was most surprising to me as someone who had never seen this movie before? That Eddie Murphy comes in this movie like 20 minutes in.
It's longer than that. It's closer to 30. I think it's like 20, 26.
Yeah.
I was timing it.
I mean, he's not in a third of the movie, which was mind-blowing to me because the convention in this kind of movie is you introduce one, you introduce the other, and then you have them meet. In this, it's you introduce one, and then the other dude's been in prison this whole time.
Well, I don't know if you guys know anything, and I don't, so I'm asking, not telling, but about the evolution of the screenplay. A lot of writers sort of listed, this person and this person. The word "and" denotes they did not work together on it. They worked, he worked first, and then I took over, then another person took over. If there's an ampersand, that's a writing team. They collaborated, but there was like several incarnations that made it feel like, this was like a legit cop thriller that was likely written in the mid 70s, possibly, and didn't actually find its way until 80 or something, and then came out in 81, 82.
You're very right, Richard.
Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Walter Hill wanted to do this earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And he wanted Richard Pryor, and it couldn't get made.
And it was originally, and there was a script written for Clint Eastwood specifically as well, which was the Richard Pryor Clint Eastwood thing.
And then Gregory Hines was also considered.
Right?
Yes. Was going to do it. He was signed. I mean, it was going to be Nick Nolte and Gregory Hines, and then I guess Cotton Club got in the way somehow. So, by the way, I would give anything to see all of these versions.
Right? Oh my fucking
God.
anything.
Get in your TARDIS. Let's go to a different timeline.
Go to the multiverse, man. And then Walter Hill's girlfriend is the reason Eddie Murphy is cast.
How so?
Eddie Murphy's girlfriend Walter Hill's girlfriend at the time represented Eddie Murphy. Yeah, it's pretty fucking wild. Hildy Gottlieb is Walter Hill's girlfriend at the time. And she goes, "Hey, do you know about this guy, Eddie Murphy, who's literally only known for one thing at the time, Saturday Night Live?" And it's fucking immaculate casting. Like, oh my God, right?
He is great.
Oh, he's perfect. He's literally he's the character that every other character in these kinds of movies tries to do and can't because they're not Eddie Murphy.
I was just going to say, literally he was 22, 23 when he did this.
This is his first movie.
Totally assured performance.
Yeah.
I mean, not a flicker of self-doubt in any scene.
And there's a scene in this movie where there could have been some folks. Holy moly. So at one point, Eddie Murphy and Nick Nolte decide to go into what could only be called a bar from a fucking nightmare that any one of us could have had in the last ever. It's a fucking Southern bar in San Francisco, which let's just say this much, that don't exist, folks. that kind of place wouldn't exist in a place like San Francisco. But it's like the bar from Blues Brothers where they're behind the chicken wire and they're throwing the beers at them. That's the kind of bar. And Eddie
Murphy
Murphy
existed in the 80s, though.
It would have, but it wouldn't have existed in San Francisco.
Yeah,
my knowledge of San Francisco in 82 is this movie. So.
Maybe like Victorville or something, right, Richard? Like out in kind of...
Out of the boonies. Well, I mean, unless every cowboy in that place was gay, then no, I don't think...
There were a lot of women there, too, so it wasn't that kind of cowboy bar.
The topless, cowboy chick with the, glitter and all that stuff. It's funny. Now I'm going to go into an area that I don't know if you guys can follow me, but there was an episode of the Rockford Files in 1977. And this particular one was sort of a backdoor pilot with Lou Gossett Jr. and Isaac Hayes, who each played characters who were on the Rockford Files in several different episodes. But in this one, for some reason, they were working together. So these two black guys working together in LA, private eyes. Lou Gossett Jr. played more of a button-down, well-dressed, $900 suit. Isaac Hayes is the bouncer from, the club. But they sort of get teamed up. And there is a scene where they go into a bar in LA and it is a Nazi bar. It's like a scene out of The Producers. There's a giant swastika behind the bar. Everyone's wearing the armbands. They're playing, the Tyrolean, oompa music and hoisting steins of beer. And these two black guys walk in and they need to get information. And it plays out pretty much exactly the same with Isaac Hayes throwing a bunch of Nazis all over the place.
I need to see this episode.
Yeah, holy
I love the
shit.
Rockford Files, but I have not seen this episode.
I love Isaac Hayes. Sign me up for that. I mean, that's essentially what this is, right? Except it's, replaced Nazi iconography with yeehaw, yokel, fucking Confederate flag. Sorry, boys, it's not your history. It's fucking racist.
If you're interested, if the listeners and Cullen, if you're interested, the episode is entitled Just Another Polish Wedding.
Thank you.
That's the name of the episode. So check it out, and you'll get some Torchy's fun.
But this scene is, I think, to your point, Richard, about Eddie Murphy, when he's in there, he's like, no fear. His character's written that way, but the performance could have belied some fucking lack of confidence, and there's none of that. Eddie Murphy's just it's just he delivers those lines perfectly.
Well, he even challenges Nick Nolte before he goes in. Nick Nolte's like, no, I know how to take care of it. Eddie Murphy's like, no, I know how to do this. And I'm forgetting the exact line, but it's like, you think it's some experience? Well, get ready to experience my bullshit.
Yeah. I've been experiencing your brand of bullshit. Here's my brand of bullshit, motherfucker.
Right, but Eddie Murphy doesn't know that it's a country western bar, does he? He doesn't know.
I think he does.
Walk in, Nick Nolte's like, good luck, and Murphy's like, oh, this is going to be like, I think they're playing it like he wasn't expecting it, but he rises to the occasion.
Yeah.
I don't think they didn't play up his reaction as much as they probably would have if the movie had been made now.
That's what's so great is how underplayed Eddie Murphy is in so much of this.
Yeah.
And how he plays it as almost like a straight cop drama, which makes it a million times more interesting and a million times funnier when it's funny. From what I've heard backstage on this movie is that this scene was sort of the audition after the audition, because the first week or so, the studio had big doubts. They were like, we may have to fire him. This is not really working. We're not really getting anything from him. And he heard sort of roundabout that there were doubts. And then this scene was coming up, and it was like, just get me to this scene. Just don't fire me before this scene. Then they had the day or days where they filmed this. And then after they sent the dailies to Paramount, and it was like, we're good. We got our guy. We're okay.
It's interesting. I mean, I can obviously see that, right? I mean, this scene is kind of one of the bigger set pieces. And again, not a lot happens. I mean, it's not like an action movie. This is not an action movie. It is, but it isn't. But like the scenes where you think things are going to happen, it's kind of like an anticlimax, this scene specifically, because you're like, oh shit, they're going to clear this bar out. And like, that's not really what happens. But that's what makes this movie so fun, is that it does kind of take your expectations and kind of play with them a little bit. Even though in 82, when this movie came out, what expectations did anybody have about this kind of movie, right? Like,
well, that's the interesting part. I think the big payoff was not a brawl like in a Western sort of saloon, but just like through sheer force of personality, he's dominating this situation.
Right.
In a way that you believe. You're like, this is not movie bullshit. Like, I can almost fucking believe it, because he has the badge, and that's the greatest thing. And of course, it leads to the best line. But you're like, okay, man. It's like
the best line, the best line in the movie we cannot quote. I mean, but
an N-word with a badge,
right? And to your point, that is the best. That might be the best line in the entire movie, frankly, because again, it speaks to Eddie Murphy's ability as an actor to deliver that line with 100% confidence with 100% believability. And yeah, again, you would expect in this kind of movie with this kind of scene, it's this giant shootout. Guys are flying all over the place, flying through the glass. Nope. Eddie Murphy just disarms everybody. He's disarming people verbally and physically at the same time, to the point where he steals knives and guns from people. And Nick Nolte's like, I saw you take that gun and I saw you take that knife.
There's one thing I kind of want to mention. I think you guys are sort of pointing the way towards this, but this moment means so much, not only to Eddie Murphy as an actor, but to his character in this movie. And what I think is so fascinating is he actually has a lot of different sort of motivations going on at the same time in this movie. So Richard, you say, he kind of plays it straight. And it's like, well, he's taken out of prison. He doesn't really want to help Nick Nolte, but at the same time, he does sort of have this ulterior motive where he wants, his former partner in crime to be out of the way. He kind of wants to get this money. He doesn't want to screw up too badly because he's about to get out of jail. He wants to get, quote, some trim. He really wants to get laid really fucking bad. At the same time, he keeps trying to get a weapon because he is a little scared. He knows he could fucking die. So he keeps trying to get this. And then in this moment, you sort of feel that he has something to prove, not only to Nick Nolte, but to the fucking world and to himself. And I think he is really proud of himself when he exits the scene. And that's a lot of fucking, motivation going behind this character who hasn't been on screen that long. And for Eddie Murphy to juggle all of that.
Oh, yeah.
Well, what's great about it is that all the things you say are completely true. And yet, thank God, we never get a scene where they both get drunk and then we get his backstory.
That's why Walter Hill is such a great writer. He doesn't have to say any of this stuff. But
it's all through the action. The character development is all through the action with Walter Hill. And that is why you watch a Walter Hill movie. That is why I said the thing about Lethal Weapon. Lethal Weapon spends so much time just blah, 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 fucking talking. You don't need to give us every fucking piece of information before you give us a scene of something happening. And Lethal Weapon, in a lot of times, as good as that movie was, it felt like it got bogged down in its own bullshit of how important the character's motivations were. It's like, you could just show me through the scene. You don't have to have a character stop, look at another character and say, let me tell you why I'm important and this is important. It's like, you can do it like this. And it's a vehicle for the movie to continue moving while putting out fertilizer to make the movie, for you to understand why the characters are doing it.
Chris, you were talking about, the book you're reading and how it has that opening that just grabs you. I love that this movie begins with the villain.
Right.
It's such a cool way. It takes you a while, not only to get to Eddie Murphy, but to get to Nick Nolte and figure out how he's involved in this.
Right.
So much is in motion before he's even there.
Even though the movies were probably released a year apart, this feels like a holdover in many ways from the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of what's on the page with some 80s flash and casting. And then Lethal Weapon feels like much more of an 80s film because it's much more character premise driven.
Mm-hmm. It's like a sitcom.
Yeah, it's like we're gonna still see a crime get solved and investigated and all that, but up front you must know his wife has been murdered. He is suicidal.
He's too old for this shit.
He's too old for this shit.
He has a family. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, the characters are weirdly less defined on the page in 48 Hours, but become defined in the persona of Nick Nolte and Eddie Murphy. But that's why it's also so interesting to picture Clint Eastwood and Richard Pryor, or Stallone and Gregory Hines, or whatever the various matchups. And Chris Christopherson was going to do it at some point.
Oh, my God. That would have been something else.
He's still my beating heart.
I mean, who else could have worked in this movie? Again, Gene Hackman. Maybe that's too on the nose, but again, kind of the gruff cop. I mean, that's again, that was the other thing about this movie that I appreciated. And I even say it in the Lethal Weapon episode. I say something to the effect of, I would like Danny Glover's great and all, but he's not a believable older cop because he's like a couple years older than Mel Gibson. In this movie, like there's clearly an age problem. And there's clearly like a race problem already, but like his age thing also is a huge issue because Nick Nolte is this grizzled older cop and Eddie Murphy is this street smart younger guy. That's one of the things, again, there's so many things that they play into. That's just one of them. But in Lethal Weapon, it's like, now they're just kind of like Danny Glover's supposed to be older, but it's not believable. In this, it's like, I believe Nick Nolte's an old guy. He acts like an old guy. He carries himself like an older guy. And at this point, Nick Nolte is probably what? 40? He looks older than Danny Glover, and Danny Glover's like young. You know, again, it's the same thing. It's just like, it's not believable.
I love how the out of shape cops comment on how shitty Nick Nolte looks.
Brian James, dude. The most lazy fucking cop ever who won't even get a number off of his own desk for Nick Nolte. You sack of shit.
That's just pure, precinct house fuckery.
Right.
Speaking of the precinct house, and I know we want to talk about this, and I didn't realize it until the trivia bar on my fucking Amazon Prime came up. But my God, that 4-minute shot, the first shot in the precinct house goes on for like 3.5 minutes in one take. Did you guys notice this or know about this?
I realized it was one take, but I didn't realize anything else.
I didn't. I gotta watch it like a 15th time.
Yeah, I read it. And I'm like, was that right? And because I was like 45 seconds into the scene, I'm like, wait, they haven't cut. Went back, watched it, and it goes on and on and on, and the choreography, and then these characters are talking. Then we pick up this guy, they go across, then they come back across. Now he's talking to her. Now it's like boom, 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 and it's just like full. Like when you start getting scared. Like, oh fuck! If I was the cameraman, I would be losing my mind. At a certain point, it's just like, are we really going to make it? Are we really going to make it? And they did it. They did it. Fucking, I don't know if it was take number 1 or number 10, but it was one.
I can't believe they would do that in a movie like 48 Hours in a non-action scene, right?
And then say nothing about it. They weren't being Orson Welles or Martin Scorsese. They weren't being a dick about it. It was just like, let's just fucking do it so you feel like you're in the environment. And no one ever said a word about it. And it's 40 years later before I was even aware that that was a thing.
I believe you mean the guy who did whatever. What was that war movie that came out? The one where it's all in one take, quote unquote. You know what I'm talking about? 1941.
1914 or whatever.
Yeah. Like that's like, this is impressive. And again, like where are the accolades?
I think Walter Hill, I think, is still underrated. I mean, despite being Walter Hill, he is huge, but he is just such an incredible, craftsman.
Yeah, no, you're right. If you talk about 70s movies, you're not talking about him. You're going to hear Francis Ford Coppola and Spielberg and Scorsese and all those guys. And in the 80s, you're not going to hear about him either.
He had such a good run.
10, not 5.
Like when I was growing up, like this and Crossroads were two of my favorite movies. But at the time, I was young enough that like I didn't know that they were Walter Hill movies. This was just like, I'm going to go to the video store. What are we going to get? Well, get 48 Hours again. And we owned Crossroads because we watched that so many times. Like that's Karate Kid was not my Ralph Macchio movie. It's Crossroads. Because I love playing guitar. Seeing Ralph Macchio playing a Telecaster with the pig nose amplifier.
I love
it. What cracks me up about Walter Hill? Most people, again, people know him as the director, but the thing that I knew about Walter Hill long before I ever saw a single one of his movies was that he was the producer on Alien.
Mm-hmm.
And he also almost with David Giler stole credit for the script, but that's beside the point.
Yeah, I was going to say, how did he end up with a producer credit? Was it just because he was
He got it through. I think he got it over the finish line. But him and David Giler, if memory serves, David Giler and Walter Hill did like a rewrite on Alien, and like some of their stuff is in the script. They added some kind of crucial things. I believe they added Ash the robot. But the thing was, they tried to like steal sole writership for the script from Dan O'Bannon and Ron Shusett. Yeah.
That probably creates some bad blood, right?
Yeah, it probably would. But that's the thing I knew Walter Hill from, because they interview him in the Beast Within, the kind of like 3-hour long Alien, for just the first Alien documentary. It's on the Blu-ray, but he's on there because they talk about it. And him and David Giler are kind of like, yeah, whatever. Like they kind of don't care, which is shocking. Because like, as Richard, you've mentioned before, like that shit's a dime a dozen. People do that shit all the time. Kind of weird to be so upfront about it.
I don't know. Like, I don't know enough about the history of that movie to know whose argument is more compelling.
Dan O'Bannon and Ron Shusett came up with the idea.
Well, then at what did Walter Hill come on later?
Yeah. After the script kind of was already.
And then was out as director when Ridley Scott came in?
I think so, yeah. I don't think he was ever going to direct it. Can you imagine that movie? Alien, directed by Walter Hill? Hey.
I mean, I would, again, let's get into the Walter Hill multiverse.
That would be something. That'd be an interesting movie. It'd be a very different movie from the one we get. But I actually really like Walter Hill's other buddy cop movie. Good old Red Heat.
I need to go back. I saw that.
Right? That movie's fucking
a long ass time ago.
You ever seen it, Richard?
I have a story about it, but I've never seen it.
Oh.
Susan, my wife, when she was a student at USC, a youngster just like me, somehow knew someone who knew someone and got to go to the set. She may have been there to like cover it for the Daily Trojan because we were USC film students. And so she was this young woman on this set in 1985 or whatever it was, 84. Schwarzenegger, Belushi, Walter Hill. I mean, every swinging dick in the
Edo Ross,
was there. And Schwarzenegger's like, who is this over here? Oh, who is this? Comes over and says, oh, hi, this is, Susan Lambert. She's from USC. Oh, USC. Oh, University of Spoiled Children.
What an ass. Oh, what an ass.
And
did that make it into the article?
I don't think so. And then what was it? Then he kicked down. It was a scene where he was kicking in a bathroom door.
Yeah.
Oh, so this makes sense to you. And then when she was leaving, I think it was Schwarzenegger who said, "Good to have you here. I'd kick in your bathroom door anytime."
Oh,
that man.
How did you get off that set without being
sexually harassed more than you already kind of were?
But again, it was the 80s. I mean, I think the only thing she did not actually see were the inevitable piles of cocaine that had to be involved for those movies to occur. So anyway, that's her Red Heat story.
You should watch Red Heat, though. It's pretty good. Schwarzenegger, Jim Belushi, Edo Ross. I mean, who doesn't love Schwarzenegger, right?
80s Schwarzenegger is a pretty sweet deal.
And I will tell you, speaking of Schwarzenegger, to bring it all the way back to this movie, that kick-ass James Horner score, baby. My God. Those steel drums, commando style. I loved it. As soon as I heard this, I was kind of hearing it and I was like, is this what I think it is? And then like halfway through the movie, you hear the ding, 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 ding. I was like, it's fucking Commando.
I was telling you, Chris, like Lauren and I were watching a movie last week. I've already forgotten what movie it was, but 15 seconds into the opening credits, you hear the steel drums and then like the Lalo Schifrin type beat underneath it. And I'm like, okay, I know who did this score. I don't even have to look it up. And it was great. I enjoyed it. I love that. I love how the scores all sound the same.
It's the steel drums in this movie. It's the long lenses, and it's the Chinatown neon. And I'm just in an 80s fever dream. I'm so happy.
And what's funny is, like you mentioned, Richard, the poster looks very 70s. The film has like some 70s sensibilities to it, ultimately, I think.
I think the whole crime story feels the whole Luther and the bag of money and the guy who's just murdering everyone.
It's not over cocaine or other stuff, right?
They do that thing, though. They do that thing where it's like, well, it's like we've got to have our rainbow coalition of bad guys. We got the Chinese guy who gets killed. Black guy is Reggie Hammond. Gans is the white guy. And then Billy Bear, the Native American. They select one from each culture and they commit a crime together.
Hey, baby, Sonny Landham. Oh my God. What's his character's name in Predator? The guy who just lets the Predator kill him, essentially. He sits down on the log and he's like, Predator, come kill me. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Where he fucking like slices open his chest so we can see the blood.
Yeah. He's great. He's okay in this movie.
That was my like aspiration in life when I was young and I saw that movie. It's just like, when do I get to do that?
What?
When do I stand on a log with like a fucking like huge knife and like cut open my like ripping biceps? None of that's happened.
I am so confused.
Many years ahead of you, Cullen. Many years ahead of you. Still have
plenty of opportunities to let your abs ripple out of your shirt.
Cullen's like, the existence of a predator is slightly less crazy than me being as ripped as that guy.
Right. I will tell you, in this movie, he's great. He's not given much to. You look at that Predator. He's not given much to do, though.
Who, Billy Bear?
Yeah,
he does enough.
He's the heavy, right? He's the tough.
He's he's the other bad guy. But James Remar is
my Lord.
That fucking yarn undershirt tank top. It's like if you can look tough in that, man, you're fucking tough.
I tell you, man, there are few actors that look as good, sweaty and grimy as fuck as James Remar. He has made like a career in the late 70s and early 80s, just being like sweaty and like disheveled looking. Cause like think about him in the Warriors, right? And then think about at least covered in a thin patina of sweat in that movie. And in this movie, he's just like disgusting to look at. He's just, ugh.
And he's terrible. I mean, he is a psychopathic murderer. He murders almost everyone he encounters in the film, or tries to at least. You love him. You love him. And it's just such a great ending. It's just like, okay, well, we've gone so far down this road. We know we're just going to see this guy eat lead in slum.
I love, you're talking about how like grimy these guys are. Eddie Murphy's the only one who looks good.
He looks like a cop. He looks like a cop.
They talk about, he's just like, Nick Nolte's like, yeah, you got a $500 suit. You're still a convict, but at least I look good.
Yeah,
I love it. Nobody in this movie looks cool.
Well, they look cool in the other way. Like I always forget about things like, again, at the end, foggy, neon lit Chinatown. And it's at the very end where Remar's got, Reggie in a chokehold with a gun to his head. And then Nick Nolte just steps out and stands in silhouette, very still, so we can just enjoy the moment.
All right.
Walks up and inexorably just is James Remar's death. And says, you are now going to die.
It's great.
There is no escape. And it's just beautiful.
He is very much convinced he knows exactly what he's doing, and he does. It's a kind of a shocking conclusion to the movie in a lot of ways. Like that's not, I wasn't expecting that. Let me put it that way.
And the endings like that play later in the 80s and even into the 90s. The old, are you going to take a shot?
Shoot him.
Right. And they don't even, I mean, it goes so fast and gets its laugh and gets out of the way so quickly here. It's just great. It's the best incarnation of that moment. It's just like, like, I was bluffing, motherfucker.
It reminds me a lot of like in Indiana Jones and Raiders of the Lost Ark. Like that scene where he just pulls out the gun and shoots him. It's got that same energy where it's just like, I'm going to show you what you expect and then completely just subvert it 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, this, I feel like, shows Walter Hill's, how much he loves Westerns.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. That's fair.
There was something very Western showdown about this, right?
Yeah. It boils down to two guys with two guns, right?
I mean, it's like the good, the bad, and the ugly. But if you could also put in like the good looking, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and Eddie Murphy would be the good looking.
That's right. That is right. The good looking, the bad looking, and the ugly looking.
I thought for whatever reason, I don't know why, I thought for the longest time that the entire premise of this movie was that Eddie Murphy and Nick Nolte were handcuffed together.
I mean, they are for certain scenes, briefly.
I know, but for whatever reason, I always thought that this movie was them because Eddie Murphy has the handcuffs on the poster, and he's like holding them, like, eh. And so for whatever reason, like I said, at the 32-year-old watching this movie in 2022, for whatever reason, I thought they were handcuffed together the entire movie, which is that is an 80s thing. That's a fucking sitcom premise right there.
They are narratively, but not literally.
Not literally.
Okay, so here's the moment in the movie that, again, having seen it in the last 2 years, I've seen it twice. So the moment that I'm always like, what? Is when it finally becomes clear, Reggie's like, okay, the MacGuffin, the money, what these guys broke out of jail for, the original crime, like the MacGuffin is a bag of money in the trunk of my car in that garage. And then Nick Nolte's like, well, it's closed. I guess we'll just have to. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, it's fucking weird, right?
You would now call your captain. They would get 20 undercover guys. They go in, get the money out first. Then they would stake the place out for hours, wait for Gans to show up, land on him like a ton of bricks. Like this then becomes we're going to not only arrest this guy, but we're going to recover the money. This is a crime that's involved people going to jail and missing funds. But instead it's just Nick Nolte on his own. He's like, I'm not going to pick up a phone. I'm not going to call anyone. I'm just going to go sit in a car and I'm going to make this bust on my own because this guy has my gun.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, Frank McRae, his boss tells him like, we're going to do this as a unit. We're going to do this together. And he's just like, no, I got to do it on my own. He's just like, fuck.
So there's nothing I can do about that, Mr. Nolte. So do it, but just make sure you don't get me in trouble. It's like, wait, what? It's that cop movie logic of that era that's just, it's insane. But you buy it. You're like, well, all right. Now he's just in his own story. He's just like, we're going to sit here and wait for the garage to open to get $500,000 out of your car. He doesn't even doubt him. He's like, no, I totally believe you. Now you go to sleep and I'll go buy a bottle of bourbon and we'll wait until sunrise.
I have no idea. The movie, again, it kind of subverts your expectations. Like halfway through the movie, it's just like, never mind. Like, this is where we're going now. It's like, okay.
So my other question is Luther's girlfriend. And literally, I saw the movie 2 nights ago and I don't remember. I know Luther gets killed brutally, but do they shoot his girlfriend or not? Or does she sort of survive the whole bus ride thing?
They never said.
Yeah, they just
drive off.
They drive off, and we don't know
the same thing. It's just like the bus. You see it going off in the distance because they lose it, and
because they crash into that thing. Yeah.
Again, expectations subverted.
Women in this movie do not come off well.
Walter Hill and the people who wrote this movie, I don't think know how to write for women. But then again, I mean, Like,
I don't think they were trying real hard. I think
no.
It was trim, pussy, and a couple of dykes. I think these are the terms we're getting to refer to the main women in the movie.
Yeah, the women in this movie are real underrepresented. Let's put it that way.
Weirdly, the woman who came off the best, in a weird way, was the woman that Eddie Murphy meets at Vroman's. And they have this kind of cute, sort of weirdly transactional sexual encounter that still she comes off like, I kind of like her. I'd actually like to see the two of them get together. Like somehow she maintains her dignity through a not very artfully written subplot of Eddie Murphy gots to get laid.
Well, there's the female characters that they run into twice in the movie, once about halfway through it, and then at the end, I guess they technically only run into Denise Crosby once. She's probably the best written female character, only because she has a baseball bat and she's going to clock Eddie Murphy with it. Also because she's Tasha Yar on Star Trek. So she's the least offensive of all the female characters because she has like one line.
Like one moment of agency, and then they both just sort of fold. She's like, I'm going to call the police department and make sure you guys are cops. And Nick Nolte's like, put down that fucking phone or I'll kick your ass. And she's like, okay. And then she puts down everything. It's like, okay, what do you need?
Sounds like a cop to me. Am I right?
Well, yeah, I'm not saying he didn't sound like a cop.
He doesn't sound like a cop in half of this movie.
As a screenwriter, you could have continued the we're self-sufficient individuals story a bit further. He could have just sat down with his gun and said, make the call. She could have called Frank McRae or Brian Jones. And they would have gone, yeah, what is that asshole? Was he bugging you? Yeah, well, when he's done, whatever, tell him to get over here. He owes me $20. Click. Okay, your partner vouches for you. Ask your questions. They could have done something.
I would have liked that scene. I can see that happening.
That's what I was expecting.
You're a good writer, Richard.
That's why I'm in Toronto.
You know what's funny, though? Has there ever been an actor who is as well suited to a role as Frank McRae is to play the captain of a police station? Like, oh my God. He
is always on 11.
Yeah, he plays it here. He plays it in Loaded Weapon 1, National Lampoon's, and he plays it in Last Action Hero as well. The same character effectively all three times.
He is a walking coronary.
Yeah.
He's like literally going to die of a coronary event at every moment he's on screen.
Yeah. It's either Last Action Hero or Loaded Weapon 1 where they have smoke literally coming out of his ears at one point. I think it might be Last Action Hero. But he's...
No, that wasn't a special effect.
No, right, exactly. That's just him. No,
he's... Special skills.
Yeah, this is the best version of that because it allows him to be... Because it's in an R-rated movie. And it allows him to really kind of stretch that character's vocabulary a little bit.
If Nick Nolte were my employee, I'd be pretty pissed.
Yeah, right.
We're not saying he doesn't have a reason.
Right.
But then they have that scene, which is really interesting, where it's end of Act 2, where it's like you blew everything. People are getting murdered. They stole the bus. They got away with the money. They got away with everything. You've totally failed. And then Frank McRae calls Eddie Murphy the N-word. And then Nick Nolte, having done it himself, defends Eddie Murphy to Frank McRae. And then Frank McRae is like, fuck you too.
Literally.
And Eddie Murphy defends Nick Nolte to Frank McRae going, don't you think you're being a little hard on him? Fuck you. It's just like, and it's this weird way, structural way of now bonding the two of them. Like that's the moment. It's like, okay, now that they've both been beaten by the same, authority figure. So now they're on equal footing. And then from then on, they really are on equal footing. I mean, Eddie Murphy helps him out, makes the phone call, and they apologize to each other in that one of three extremely homoerotic compositions where they're like really close to each other at the bar. And Nick Nolte's like, I'm sorry about what calling you a watermelon and using the N-word. I was just trying to keep you down. That's all. And Eddie Murphy's like, yeah, it was mostly that. You know?
Yeah, I kind of like that I like it was like kind of a shitty apology, but it's like it's the best that Nick Nolte's character can do. And I think Eddie Murphy's like, it's not a good apology. All right, man. Like,
this is the best this asshole can do ever.
And I do like that he doesn't, as you pointed out, Richard, he doesn't let Nick Nolte get away with it. It's just like, all right, man. Like, that doesn't quite cut it.
He's still out for his own thing. He's still like, look, could you just give me $20 so I can get laid? You know?
Right.
But again, it always goes down to this other level, this non-racial sort of like, but we're both men, and you know, you're white and I'm black, but we both, all we care about is trim. And then the other moment where he's like, Eddie Murphy's like, you doing okay? You seem really depressed. You know, how are things going with that girl of yours? Oh, we had another fight. And it's like, well, why don't you go call her up? You know, isn't that, you know, that's what I would do if I had a girlfriend and I was depressed. I'd go call her up. Then it becomes a plot moment. But again, it's this sort of, we're bonding over male problems. You know, women can't live with them, can't live without them. You know? But it's that shared knowledge that then binds them to the bad guys. Because it's like, well, if I've got a dick and you've got a dick, they've got dicks. I think we know where they are. And then that's where they are.
Richard, were you in on this meeting, this pitch meeting?
I'm just pulling this stuff. I'm just like, what's going on here? What's going on here?
But to your point, like, it's that great thing where they do it all the time in mystery novels, where it's like one person says something that they don't think has any bearing on anything, and then it's like that's the key that unlocks the door, right? They do it all. That's the classic trope.
The first part.
Yeah, exactly. It's repeat that. The third, exactly. It's that God, I want to say they did it in the newest season of Stranger Things. They did that same thing. It's like, not that, the other thing. And it's like, oh God, like stop doing this, please. Like it works when it works. When it doesn't work, it feels so fucking lazy. All you can do is go, you've done it again.
Yeah, but it's you never, I don't know.
It always seems to work though, doesn't it?
Sort of thing. I don't know.
It works enough times that when it doesn't work, it doesn't matter.
And then they did the other thing, which I think has been copied in movies, but I mean, I joke about it all the time, is, and I think it was originated in this movie, we ain't brothers, we ain't partners, we ain't friends. You know, it's just like, I'm going to define our relationship in the first act of this movie, and then I wonder what's going to change.
Everything. By the end of it, we've unraveled all of it and connected all the ends together. We're here now.
He called me partner.
Yeah. And you know what though? Like I was saying, I think the thing I enjoyed about this movie the most is watching it. It just feels so, in spite of the fact that it essentially, along with Freebie and the Bean, inspired everything else that I've watched this month. It still feels so fresh and new and exciting. Like, because again, it's Eddie Murphy and Nick Nolte. That pairing is really, because we really haven't talked about it. Nick Nolte is amazing in this movie. But that's because they're just like, hey, Nick, just go do your thing. Okay. Okay. Like, I don't know what Nick Nolte's thing is, but it's that. I mean, it's just that. I mean, I haven't seen him in a lot, but in Tropic Thunder, he plays a character that does this all movie. And I was like, that's got to be just like a thing that he does in this movie, right? Nope, that's just Nick Nolte from always. Probably from the womb.
This podcast has given each of us an opportunity to bring out our Nick Nolte impression.
Yeah. That's oh my Lord.
He's great. The other story I heard was that Walter Hill kind of pulled him aside when Eddie Murphy was cast and basically said to him, okay, look, here's the deal. You have to be perfect in every take because we got a new guy working, and with him, we're just going to use whatever take worked. So we're going to be picking and choosing his takes. You've got to always be great. So whatever take of his works, you're also there. So that's how this, and Nick Nolte's like, that's fine. No problem. Here's the other thing I love about this movie. At the very end, it's like we've spent a feature-length film sort of playing with the notion that, is the convict a better or as good a cop as the cop? Right. He's sort of a cop. Like he operates like a cop. He knows how
he looks more like a cop than Nick Nolte does through most of the movie.
Right. And like he's been on the other side of it enough to know, even when he approaches the two prostitutes in the precinct house, he sort of puts on the, I'm the inspector, what's going on here, ladies, whatever, I work Vice or whatever. But at the end, they flip it. And Nolte gives him the money. It's like, you're gonna let me keep that money. Yeah, it'll be in your car. You can have it. I don't care about turning it in. It's like, okay, so now you're a criminal too. And okay, but you're a cop. And of course, the great thing is Eddie Murphy's just like, how much is going to be left for me when I get out of prison? You haven't taken. It's not all of it. You can have all of it. Really. And you want nothing in return. You could use a new car, which is perfect because Eddie Murphy is like, yeah, you could fucking use a new car. What kind of car? Okay, I can afford that. Deal. And it's like, okay, so they're both cops. They're both crooks. They have reached true equal social status.
And he doesn't even ask for money to give it to him for free. He wants him to loan him the money on top of everything else, which was so kind of just like, well, I could use a loan. Like, what? Like, he doesn't even want money for helping at all. It's weird, strange. Again,
sky blue Cadillac convertible, bolt beat to shit. God, movies used to be good.
Movies used to. That is, that's the thing. I'm curious because we've kind of talked about this movie in particular, but where does this rank for you in the buddy cop genre? Given that again, it's kind of heralded as the OG, if by most people again.
This is pretty high up there for me.
Yeah, I'd say it's really high up there. I mean, again, it's hard to directly compare it to like cop or buddy cop movies from the 70s. Like, I guess you wouldn't. I mean, it's not like Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3 is a buddy cop movie, but as a buddy cop movie, this is way, way up. I like the movie more each time I see it, and it's right before things changed. I mean, Eddie Murphy's next few movies, and then Beverly Hills Cop, which I think is a fantastic movie, and also could be called a buddy cop movie.
Yeah.
But the tone is so different. It's very
fun.
It's fun. It's goofy. It's overtly comedic. It's got some pops of real violence, but we're moving into a different era where realism is not valued.
It's a lot slicker. The 48 Hours is much more grittier.
And more overtly.
And I said fun not to make 48 Hours not sound fun, because it is fun. It's just that different kind of like, it's okay. I mean, Harold Faltermeyer does the music. Axel F. If you've ever heard that, the movie is like Axel F in film form, like that.
But I think like if someone if I maybe Susan's not the perfect example, but to use her as an example. If we spent the evening watching 48 Hours and then Beverly Hills Cop, I think she would come away saying, I liked Beverly Hills Cop better because there's things that leave a bad taste in your mouth nowadays. 48 Hours that are sort of like super violent and super gritty, and women were treated horribly, and the racially diverse characters were not treated good. So it's sort of like, yeah, it was good. I liked it, but it's a little, Whereas Beverly Hills Cop lets you off the hook a little bit. It's like, oh, okay, well, this is an entertainment.
Well, somebody saw 48 Hours and went, hey, that Eddie Murphy guy, what if we give him his own cop movie and cut out the Nick Nolte part? And that's literally all Beverly Hills Cop is. It's literally this movie with Eddie Murphy as the cop, with nobody. I mean, Judge Reinhold is there, but they're not like this where they're next to each other constantly.
It was another example, though, of a script that had been around and that had a lot of 70s traces that got really scrubbed. It was a Sylvester Stallone movie. That's what it was.
Yeah.
For him. It was going to be, the Detroit cop, come and look at this, I'm in Beverly Hills,
Which, let's not kid ourselves. That could have been fun.
Oh, it would have been great, but it wouldn't have. It would have been much more like 48 Hours because it was not. It would have been fun, but not a comedy.
Right.
He signed a contract. I mean, after 48 Hours, Paramount tied him up. It's like, you're doing 3 movies for us. Maybe it was 5 movies, and like 1.5 of them were good, and the others were Best Defense and. So, I don't think Trading Places was part of that deal, but Golden Child might have been.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oof. Golden Child. My God. Oof. Movie's okay, right?
I mean, he had a streak. It was 48 Hours, Trading Places, Beverly Hills Cop. And at that point, it was like, oh shit, this guy can do no wrong. Haha.
Was Harlem Nights part of that deal?
Later. It was later.
I love Harlem Nights. That is just one of my favorites.
Opening night. It holds up?
I mean, yeah, I've seen it. That used to be a VHS I rented, at least once a year. I mean, it's Red Fox, Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy. Like, that cast, you can't beat it.
No, Red Fox was in it. Maybe I got to check that out.
I like Eddie. I'm trying to think of Eddie Murphy things that I've seen him in live action. It's a post 2000s. It's a very small list of things, but I think there's a reason for that in a lot of ways.
His big, like I would say, maybe his most popular, best reviewed movie in the 2000s, I think, might be Bowfinger.
Well, I would say the Eddie Murphy role that defines him post 2000s is Donkey from fucking Shrek.
Well, there you go.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, realistically, when I think of Eddie Murphy, it's Donkey from Shrek. Cause that is Eddie Murphy, right? Like,
they keep trying to he was reinvented in Dreamgirls. I was like, yeah, okay. But
doing the serious thing.
And even the Dolomite movie that came out a year or so back, which was good and had a lot of good stuff in it, but it was almost like he almost wasn't even the best part of it. Weird. What was that movie called? Was it?
Oh my God, what was the Dolomite movie called?
Dolomite Is My Name.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. There were some rewarding parts of that movie.
I like Eddie Murphy though, for the most part of the things I've seen him in, but it's mostly comedic. It's like Jim Carrey. When he works within the boundaries of his ability, he's pretty good. When he strays away from it, you get things like Norbit.
Well, and you also get I think almost the perfect example of what happened to Eddie Murphy is watch Beverly Hills Cop and then watch Beverly Hills Cop 2. And you're like, oh, everything that was every right note that was struck there, they strike the wrong note here. And it's because, this is after Eddie Murphy went so far up his own ass that it's like, I'll do the movie if I can drive this car. I'm always hot. I've got a hot woman on each arm. And it's like, all the stuff that's going to make you not funny. And not.
Is this what happened to Eddie Murphy?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
He was a fucking 25-year-old who, there was not a single human being on earth who would not fuck him. And what are you going to turn into? You turn into a version of yourself where you're just, it was more important to throw a party at Bubble Hill than actually go, wait, what's a good movie for me to do next?
What did y'all think of another 48 Hours?
Never saw it.
Never saw it. I haven't seen it yet.
Not good. Though what I'm curious
is shocking, I would say. 8 years later and it's not as good.
Well, so basically what the story I've heard is that, and it's on Wikipedia and everywhere, Walter Hill turned in a 2.5 hour movie and they cut an hour out of it.
Right. Dude, I heard the same thing.
When you watch it, it's one of those movies there's so much involved in the plot, in the bad guys, and they try to bring back, the same sort of setup from the first movie between Eddie Murphy and Nick Nolte. It feels so labored. Whereas just that for that first movie, it's just it hits the ground running. Everything just moves so quickly. It feels natural. it doesn't try too hard to like build up the story and the bad guys. And I wonder if there was good stuff that got left on the cutting room floor, but like, I'm trying to imagine what could have made that 90 minutes that I saw worthwhile. Like,
it's trying to capture lightning in a bottle twice.
Yeah. That's the thing about this movie. Like it really feels like everything came together perfectly. And from what I can tell, having not seen Lethal Weapon 2, 3, and 4, but seeing everyone's visceral reactions to it, it would feel like maybe they had the same problem there. I mean, look at Rush Hour, right? Rush Hour 2 is nowhere near as good as the first one, or the third one as good as the first one either. Sequels tend to not do as well, I think, just in general. But when you have these kinds of movies, it's like, what are you doing? Are you literally just going to do the same thing again? I guess you can.
Like I would make an argument that if 48 hours is here and another 48 hours is down here, then if Lethal Weapon is here, Lethal Weapon 2 is only like here. Because it was like, first of all, a little more of a product that was easy to replicate. And then they replicated it fairly quickly.
Right.
So it didn't just feel like, oh, fuck, like Nick Nolte clearly owes money to the government. And so that's why they're doing this movie 8 years later. I mean, what the fuck? But if you want to know some of the backstage stuff with Eddie Murphy, this book is great. This is Wild and Crazy Guys. And it's basically the dudes that were in the comedies in the 80s. Eddie Murphy, Chevy Chase, Dan Aykroyd, Steve Martin, Bill Murray, John Belushi. And it's a great book about the behind the scenes of these guys, their meteoric rise. And then in almost every single case, they're, just horrifying, humiliating denouement.
Chevy Chase had a humiliating denouement? What? What are you no way. I wouldn't believe that comedy's biggest asshole had a problem.
The Chevy Chase story is so interesting because he almost never had a big hit.
Yeah, it was just kind of like middle of the road stuff.
Yeah, I think like the Vacation movies were his franchise.
And Fletch.
Everything else was like, Fletch sort of went up, but everything else was like disappointing numbers. It was
Chevy Chase has modern problems. Chevy Chase is out on a funny farm. I mean, it's that shit, right? It's like these 80s sitcom movies with Chevy Chase. Nothing But Trouble is in that same vein of just like, Jesus, what happened, man?
Frankly, Eddie Murphy was really the only one who had like 3 legitimate astronomic hits that could be 100%, laid at his feet. He was the one who did it.
Right.
Steve Martin, up and down, he's great, but in movies, it was Dan Aykroyd, John Belushi. Yeah, Ghostbusters was great, and but they were
That's a team effort, baby.
Interesting movie, but was not the hit people thought it was going to be.
Right. So I guess that brings me to my final question here that I've asked everybody who's been on the show this month, starting with the elder of the group. Richard, what is your buddy cop movie of choice? If you have to pick one, not your favorite, but just one that's like the one that you resonate with, gravitate towards more often.
Well, okay, we've talked.
It doesn't have to be cops necessarily. It could be the convention of buddy cop put on something else too.
My Blue Heaven. No, I haven't seen that. I'm just thinking about it because of Goodfellas.
Oh,
and
fair.
Yoda, what the fuck?
I know Ray Liotta. It's a fucking Ray Liotta is just, that is for me. That's the big one this year, and like I don't know what could top that because he's 67. Holy shit, dude's on set filming a fucking movie and just dies in his hotel room.
I mean, for me, Gilbert Gottfried's a big one. Bob Saget,
right. Oh my god, right?
Like those were in a weird way surprising to me, especially Bob Saget. It's like, what the fuck?
Same with Ray Liotta. He's 60. He was 67. That's young.
But I don't know, like that is young, but I don't know his habits. Like if you then told me, oh, he was like, had a huge substance problem, I'd go, oh, maybe he did. I don't know him and his reputation well enough to judge. But anyway, apparently he didn't. Apparently it was a surprise, and apparently he was a great beloved guy. Cullen, but I mean, I'm going to put this one at the top of my list. I mean, if you're taking a class and someone's going to show a buddy cop movie, this is the one they should show.
Right. Cullen, what about you?
So I'm going to go buddy cop adjacent.
Okay.
And pick Red Sun with Toshiro Mifune and Charles Bronson.
Oh, I think that Rising Sun with Wesley Snipes and Sean Connery.
Also,
I really want to see that.
Also, kind of a valid answer some way. I'm assuming.
Have you guys seen Red Sun?
Never seen it.
Sounds interesting.
It's amazing. So Mifune is sort of a bodyguard. The ambassador from Japan is trying to deliver a prized samurai sword to the president of the United States. Alan Delon and his gang, which includes Charles Bronson, hold up the train and rob it. Alan Delon screws over Bronson and thinks he's killed him. Bronson, survives and is like, I got to fucking get Alan Delon so I can get all my money. And Mifune is like, I need to find this guy so I can get the sword back. And, so Mifune is sort of the cop figure. Bronson is sort of the outlaw, the prisoner figure. They both hate each other and are trying to kill each other the entire movie. And Bronson's like, look, I'll help you find Delon, but you got to let me deal with him first so I can find my money. And Mifune's like, no, as soon as I find this guy, I'm fucking killing him and taking the sword. And it's wonderful because this is peak Bronson. And he allows Mifune just to ritualistically humiliate him. Bronson keeps trying to beat up Mifune, and Mifune just kicks his ass with no effort. Bronson is such a good sport in this movie, and the cast is insane. Ursula Andress is in it. So many good people.
All right,
it's a wonderful, wonderful movie.
I want to see it.
So my answer this month has been National Lampoon's Loaded Weapon 1, which is a movie that essentially ruined Lethal Weapon for me because I don't know, Samuel L. Jackson and Emilio Estevez have a hell of a lot of chemistry in that movie.
I've not seen this. I got to see it.
It's fun. And Tim Curry's the villain along with William Shatner.
Ooh.
I mean, come on.
Ooh.
But a movie that I want to mention that I've been thinking about as kind of adjacent, Men in Black, kind of a buddy cop movie.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what else I have enjoyed on repeated viewings is Shanghai Noon.
I fucking love that movie. Also buddy cop adjacent.
That's a fun movie I saw for the first time recently.
Have you seen Shanghai Nights, Richard?
I have, and it's sort of well, okay,
why not, right?
Not as good, but again, Jackie Chan, Owen Wilson, come on.
I mean, yeah, Owen Wilson at the height of his wowness, at the height of his popularity, right? Wouldn't we say? Wow, great! He's so good.
You need to do a stand-up routine where you just do impressions of people, but through one sound.
Oh, wow!
Like your Nick Nolte was just perfect.
Do what?
What's the Nick Nolte sound?
Hey. It's like that. That's all he does. He makes noises that sound like words while growling.
What's your Sylvester Stallone?
Is that right? Is that not? And then the Schwarzenegger's.
Oh wow! Dude, you could do a good Bronson, I bet.
I've never seen a singular fucking Charles Bronson movie. Did I just break your heart?
No, after you see a few, I bet you could do a really good one.
Richard, your face. I've never seen Death Wish.
I was going to say Death Wish would be my guess. You never saw Telephone?
I wouldn't put that. I mean, Death Wish is great, but we shouldn't talk about Charles Bronson because I'll have a much longer list. And
well, we should watch Rising Sun. Frankly, that should be the next movie.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys
From
and
noon
girls.
till 3. That's a great Bronson movie.
Boys and girls, July doesn't have a theme yet. Richard and Cullen have figured out the theme for July, I think. They did Burt Reynolds last year.
Reynolds, seriously, should we do Bronson?
Why
That'd be
not?
very virgin territory for me. I have not seen. I mean, I've seen Death Wish. That might be the only Bronson movie I've seen.
Well, you've seen Great Escape, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Have you seen Once Upon a Time in the West?
No, I mean, these are movies.
That's a fucking nutso ass movie. The 10-minute opening of that movie.
You have seen a Bronson movie.
I guess so. Yeah, I guess I have, but I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it as an adult.
I mean,
that's a great one.
It's a fully formed film critic, as they would say. Let's do Charles Bronson in July. Why not? Fuck it. Let's do it. I love the idea of Charles Bronson and Death Wish and Richard eating a chicken sandwich in a very sexy way. I think Buddy Cop Month was a success. I got to see some interesting stuff. And I think ending it with 48 Hours makes sense. Because this is kind of where it all, this is the top. This is where it all comes from, I think, in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? Let's do Charles Bronson in July.
All right.
So on that note, let's take a break and we'll play a preview for the first Kulturecast of June, not July.
Ladies and gentlemen, whether you like it or not.
Ow! Hedwig! Don't you know me, Kansas City? I'm the new Berlin Wall. Try and tear me down. How did some slip of a girly boy become the internationally ignored song stylist barely standing before you?
Damn, handsome. I can't believe you're not a girl.
Looks like we got some sugar daddies in the house. You could give me a cavity, honey. Now you're interested, huh?
Inch, not itch.
Intrigued. It is clear that I must find my other half. But is it a he or a she? Can two people actually become one? The dark turns and noise of this wicked little town. One day in the late mid-80s, I was in my early late 20s.
I never knew that woman before that night, and I never knew she wasn't a woman.
I've got a sweet tooth. Songs exploded out of us. We were outgrossing monster trucks in Wichita. When it comes to huge openings, a lot of people think of me. I had tried singing once, and they threw tomatoes. So after the show, I had a nice salad. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, both of you. Did you put a bra in a dryer? How many times do I have to tell you? You don't put a bra in a dryer. It warps. Okay, everybody. I put on some makeup. Suddenly I'm this punk rock star. And I ain't ever. I'm never turning back. Hey boy, take a walk on the wild side.
Hedwig and the Angry Inch.
When I think about all the people I have come upon in my travels, I have to think about the people who have come upon me.
So taking a step back from buddy cop movies, we're going to be talking about Gay Pride Movie Month. Gay movies. Gay Pride Month? Pride Movie Month. What is not offensive? I am gay, so what can I say? That's my autobiography. Well, I am gay. What can I say? The Chris Stachiw story.
I can see that on a book cover.
Right. With me, it was just my hands out with a fucking rainbow in between them. Just
oh my god.
Yeah.
So can someone make this book like this book cover?
Please. But yeah, so we're gonna be talking
too.
We're gonna be talking about Pride movies. So Pride Month. So movies with what does that mean?
Yeah, what are you going to watch? What is it?
So we're starting it with Hedwig and the Angry Inch.
So
yeah.
Great one.
Never seen it.
Oh, I hope you enjoy it, man.
Fucker.
I know, right? I'm super excited.
You gotta, okay. I just want to be on every episode. What are the other ones?
Hedwig and the Angry Inch. And then let me get back to my list here. My Own Private Idaho, which I have never seen. I believe that's not Leonardo. No, River Phoenix. Keanu Reeves. I keep wanting to say Gilbert Grape, the actors that are in that movie. Is this the movie with Leonardo DiCaprio?
Gilbert. No, he's in Gilbert Grape.
Okay, so who's in this movie?
Idaho is River Phoenix and maybe Keanu.
Okay. Heavenly Creatures, which is a Peter Jackson joint, pre Lord of the Rings. And then The Handmaiden, which you guys are on later in the month, which is a South Korean erotic thriller, which is the reason that Richard is on that episode.
Well, how's it gay?
Richard, best quote of the night. How's it gay? I don't know. It is Jess Byer June, so I assume Jess knows what movies are gay or not.
Oh, Jess is the gatekeeper on this.
Yes, she is. Just like myself, we are the gatekeepers. No, we're both bi, which means we're technically not even really observed by the gay community. So,
oh no, everybody hates the bis.
I know it's true. I don't get it. It's super weird. I'm glad. Do you know what I'm talking about, Richard?
Yeah, because I think gay people think that bi people are trying to get away with it without having to suffer the stigma of being gay. And then straight people don't like bi people because it's like, man, you're getting laid twice as much.
Exactly. And in both cases, they're wrong. I mean, I understand the whole straight passing relationship thing. If you're bisexual and you're with someone of the other gender, obviously you're not going to get hassled as if it's, someone of the same sex. I get it. But like, stop being so fucking petty. Come on. It's 2022. Like, for the most part, most places you're not going to get hassled.
Well, also it's hard for people to fathom because if you know someone who is straight, for instance, if you know a guy who's straight, then you know that guy is going to, have a relationship with a woman. And if you know a guy who is gay, then you know they're going to have a relationship with a man. But when a bisexual person has a relationship, there's always an assumption on the part of the non-bi person, which is like, well, if you're bi and you like both, you're only with one, so you only sort of half like that person. Because you're declaring that half of your interest up front is for something totally different. So how is this even a legit relationship? You're getting screwed or they're not being given 100%. It's like, it's confusing for people who only identify in one orientation.
I don't think the straights are okay, folks. I think the straights are having a hard time.
I've given this a lot.
Oh, I'll blow your mind later, Richard. I'll blow your mind later. But until then, Richard, where can people find you on the internet when you're not here?
I'm in Toronto right now, so I'm on Canadian Twitter. It's different. It's its own Twitter. There's only like 200 people.
It's called Twitter. It's just called Twitter A.
Twitter A. And you can find me on Twitter at Richard Hatem. That's pretty much the only social media I've got. And I tell you, man, I'm about ready to flee that sinking ship. But you can find me there. And otherwise, watch Titans on HBO Max. The first 3 seasons are available in their entirety. Season 4 debuts in August.
What about you, Mr. Gallagher? What's going on over at pulp-serenade.com?
Not much has happened on the blog, which should be no news to any of y'all, because I always keep promising to do something there and I never do. But this month, May, Starkhouse just republished W.R. Burnett's High Sierra and the Asphalt Jungle, and that has my introduction talking about his career. So if y'all have not read those 2 books, highly recommended. Burnett sort of is, in a lot of ways, the architect for modern crime movies, whether, Little Caesar was the gangster, High Sierra is sort of the modern Western, and Asphalt Jungle is the heist movie or the heist novel. And he's inspired countless novels and movies. And he's still one of the best.
And you know what? How awesome is it that you can own something that someone has had published, right? That's so cool. Come on, man. That's awesome.
Cullen, what's the author's name again?
W.R. Burnett.
W.R. Burnett. Got it.
And is that out already? This
it came out a couple weeks ago.
Oh, nice.
Would you? Are you going to send us signed copies, or I don't know? I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have any copies, but I can.
They didn't even send him copies, Richard. How are we going to get free copies if
I'm sure
he's in the book?
I'm sure Greg will send me, a copy at some point. He always does. He's a great publisher, a super great guy. I love the work he does. So I'm, Greg, if you're listening, thank you very much for your support and letting me write these introductions. It's always a thrill.
Richard, do you think paper grows on trees? As for me, cstachiw.com, cstachiw.com. That's where I am. Richard and I do a podcast together, believe it or not. It's called Rankin' on Bass. And it's Richard's fault that podcast exists, actually.
And believe me, I pay for it on a monthly basis.
Right. But that's where you can find me, other things I've worked on. This show, Kulturecast.com, patreon.com/Kulturecast. That's where you can go to monetarily support the podcast. If you don't want to support it monetarily, I understand times are hard and inflation sucks. So iTunes is where you would rate and review the show. That's the only place you can rate and review it. So that's where you should go and do it. Other than that, Richard, Cullen, thank you guys so much for joining me, as always.
Thank you, sir.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And we'll catch you guys on the next episode.